We are not doctors. Nothing in this podcast should be taken as medical advice. Consult your physician before starting any workout routine. This is the Martial Heart Podcast.
And hey everybody, welcome back and hello. It is Thursday and it's the 19th, I believe, Thursday the 19th. And I think this is going to be episode number 26. I keep losing track. And like if I upload something that doesn't have an actual title that I give it, it assigns it an episode number according to the number of things that I've put on there, whether they're part of this podcast or not. So if I do that, it's in the 30s. But I think if I'm keeping track, this is number 26. I might have to change this convention and just let it start numbering the episodes so that I don't have to keep track anymore, and it'll just be normal and easy to do. But anyhow, I am recording this on some new equipment. And so far, I'm pretty impressed with it. It has a really good sound quality so far since I've been testing it. And I can actually show it to you. It is the Zoom PodTrak P4. And it took me a while. I was thinking about this and thinking about it and reading about it and watching reviews. Reading specs and all this other stuff about, is it going to do what I need it to do? Because I need some very specific things that I want to do. And the ultimate goal for me on the audio is that I want to be able to plug this thing in, press record or stream, whatever I'm going to do, and just do it. And when it's done, if I'm doing a recording, I just want to hit upload and send this thing out into the universe. I want to spend the least amount of time as possible on post-processing and all this other garbage. Yes, I'm running it through some filters and stuff on the OBS Studio software, but I want it to be as easy and painless as possible because I'm lazy. So I don't want to spend an hour editing and, adjusting the audio on a 15-minute podcast. That's stupid. So I'm not going to do it. So I need the sound to be as good as possible going in so that when it's coming out at the other end, then, I don't have to do anything with it. And this thing's really pretty sweet. The number one thing about it is that it has 4 inputs, so I can have 3 guests on the podcast live. It has a thing where people can actually call in if I want to take call-ins, and because you can connect a phone to it. And it has 70 decibels of gain. If you're not an audio person, you may not realize that that's outrageous. Most audio interfaces, especially your desktop USB audio interfaces, don't have anywhere near that amount of gain that you can apply to the microphones. And it also has the phantom power if you need to run a condenser microphone or anything, or if you want to run a preamp for a microphone for some reason. But I'm using the Rode Podmic, which is one of those mics that they describe as being gain hungry, that requires a lot of gain because the way they're built to not be as sensitive, so that you have to be close enough to them. You have to be close, and it's not going to pick up as much background noise, and that's why they're great for broadcasting and great for podcasting and things like that. It's because the settings are a lot easier to deal with because it's a dynamic microphone, whereas a condenser microphone is going to be picking up everything in this house. So some of them, though, like, different models need a lot more power, and you don't want to crank up your gain all the way to 10 or 11. So some people use preamps like a Fed head or something like that, or a cloud lifter. And then it applies some gain, clean gain on the way in, and then you only have to use your gain knobs up here at 3, 4, whatever. So anyway, it has a lot of adjustments. It has a lot of capabilities, and you can record the entire damn thing right there on that device, mobile, out in the field. And just bring it back and upload it. And I've been able to add my intro and outro music to the thing. So if I want to do an entire episode away from the house, I can just hit these buttons and it'll do everything. It won't do, I can't do video, but yeah, it's pretty impressive. And I'm liking it so far. And so far, the sound quality from, like I said, from what I've tested, it's really good. So that's what it is. There's your little audio file breakdown of tonight's episode. Zoom, PodTrak P4, and a Rode Podmic, and OBS Studio. So, but on to today's podcast episode. I learned something today. I learned a couple of things today. Number one, I want to say thank you to my friend on Facebook, Lisa, who educated me on why my cardiologist would have taken me off of the blood pressure medicine, metoprolol, when it seems like I'm having all sorts of blood pressure problems, and that is because they're going to put me on a 2-week heart monitor. And blood pressure regulating medicines can interfere with getting proper readings on that, because it's not going to show what my real heart, activity is if I have a drug that's controlling my blood pressure and my heart rate and everything. And metoprolol is a generic version of the regular medicine, but the regular medicine is actually, I don't know if it still is, but years ago, it was banned by the Olympic Committee because you don't shake. If you have a tremor in your hands or whatever, you don't shake anymore. It takes that away. And so the biathletes, the guys who would, do the skiing and then have to shoot, for accuracy, would take it, and it would prevent their hands from shaking after, physical exercise, and that would be a better shot. So they banned it because they considered it a performance-enhancing drug. So anyway, it can control things, and I guess it would, make the heart monitor not actually see what's going on with my heart. But so anyhow, that's what that's all about. But the last couple of days have been ugly because my blood pressure keeps spiking. My heart rate keeps increasing. I keep getting this thumping in my chest. The arrhythmia has come and gone quite rapidly, though. And I feel it come on, and by the time I can get the blood pressure cuff on me, it stopped doing it. So I haven't been able to get it logged that many times in my app. So hopefully the 2-week heart monitor will be able to give them a better track record of what's happening with that. But the other thing that I learned, which is very important, is that stress now manifests itself in physical symptoms with me. I used to get migraine headaches, and I would get stressed out. I would get angry. I would get frustrated, and I would everything was bottled up in there, and I would get a massive headache. At some point, usually when the stress was over, I would get a migraine, but nothing physical. It didn't, make me feel sick or anything like that. So, and I always kind of, I'm sure a lot of people say they thrive in chaos, but I really, that's where I felt comfortable, was when things were a little bit out of control, because then, I could think more clearly, because you have something specific that's happening, and you have very specific things that need to be done in a crisis, and it allowed my brain to focus. So when things were chaotic or falling apart, I'm able to go, I'm going to do this, we need to do that, you go do this is how we fix this, and resolve it like that. So it never bothered me to be in stressful situations, because that was when my brain actually functioned a little bit better, and I could think a little more clearly when I was under that kind of pressure. But now, what I've noticed in the last couple of days is that if something stresses me out, I feel it physically. My heart rate changes, my blood pressure spikes. I can feel it, the warmth in my face, which is what happens to me when my blood pressure shoots up, and I will get a little bit lightheaded, and I can feel like a thump in my chest, and I was monitoring my heart rate, and at one point it shot up to like 107, and I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't doing anything physical to cause my heart rate to elevate. So it appears that post heart attack, my stress is no longer internalized. It's now making itself known in my heart. And I don't know what we do about that, because so many things in life today stress people out. And I'm no different than anyone else. I get stressed out. And if I'm going to start having issues with my heart when I get stressed out, and I don't know, maybe it won't be like this all the time. Once it heals up and I'm better, it won't do this anymore. But kind of freaked me out today, because I knew I started to feel stressed out, and there was a lot that was happening, and I started to feel these things, and I'm like, oh crap, this is what my life is going to be like now. Now I have to be like that person, like, this no longer brings me joy. I'm going to get rid of this. I need to remove this from my life. So anything that like causes me any amount of stress, I'm just going to have to say, nope, I can't have you in my life anymore. So move on. And it's going to be interesting if it stays that way, because I will have to streamline some things and make sure that I'm doing a whole lot of relaxation and keeping my brain, in a relaxed state, and my body. And I'm sure once I can get back into exercising regularly, it will help regulate the tension and stuff. So I'm really looking forward to that. Tonight, in cardiac rehab, they did kick it up a notch, literally one notch on the speed. So I'm now walking at a 3.0 instead of a 2.9. And I'm on a 2 on the elevation. So the incline, so they have it inclined at a 2, and I'm walking at a 3, which I think is the 3 miles an hour, I think is all it is. So where I was doing a 20-minute and 40 or 45, whatever, second mile, now it's a 20-minute even mile. So I walked for 30 minutes, went a mile and a half, and my heart rate made it up to a whole 108. So that was the result of this exercise. And it's not working me, cardio, and they come by with the sign, what's your number, the level of difficulty. And I'm like, it's still easy. And it's not that I'm looking forward to them challenging me or making me sweat or making me, strain myself on this treadmill. But I know that's what has to happen in order for me to heal and to get better. So I'm anxious, and I'm eager, and I'm impatient. And that's what's happening. I'm just getting impatient about all of it. But, it felt okay. I didn't have any problems. And that's the weird thing, like the arrhythmia and the other conditions that I've been dealing with lately, they don't happen when I'm exercising my heart. So when I'm on the treadmill, nothing. I don't have any of those things that happen. They've never seen a blip on my heart monitor or anything when I've been there at cardiac rehab. It just doesn't happen. So it's happening when I'm not, I don't know, maybe it's happening most when I'm not, using my heart, when it's more at rest, which is possible. That's when the arrhythmia might hit me the most. So we have to figure out those things. But I'm still waiting for the heart monitor. It hasn't shown up. So once that happens, I'm going to show it to everybody and explain how it works, and put that thing on, and we'll see what happens over the period of about 2 weeks. But that's where I am today. I'm okay right now, but, the last couple of days haven't been that great. I'll get through it. It's just one of the downs of the ups and downs again. But I'll let you go, and I will talk to you again soon, probably tomorrow. But take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and, eat your broccoli.